From the depths of the night, I rise and I fight with the strength of the Lord. I'm ready to ignite. The world's full of trials, but I won't back down. With faith as my armor, I claim this crown. Stand tall, stay bold, for His light will unfold. God's-prepared warrior, I'm standing my ground. It is my fortress and my strength will be found. Stay vigilant, stay prepared, that's how I roll. With faith as my guide, I'll conquer it all. Every step that I take, I'm guided. I'm blessed for the battle. I'm ready for the test. When doubt starts to creep, I'll hold my head high, for I walk with His grace. I'll soar, I'll fly. Stay vigilant, stay true, His power shines through.
Hello everyone, welcome to God's Prepared Warrior Roundtable Live. Hopefully you guys on YouTube can hear me. I know that everybody over here on TikTok can hear me, and everybody is saying hello over here. Judy, thank you for joining the live over on TikTok. Z, thank you for joining the live. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully, yay, I got a 5x5 by Salt Mist. Thank you, ma'am, for all of your help and your listening ear. And thank you for all that you do here tonight. And so, guys, I'm excited. KP is coming in from Louisiana. Hello, brother KP. God bless you. Thank you for joining me. I follow KP. I love his beef jerky recipes that he has on his YouTube channel. So if you didn't know, KP Heathen is his channel, and check him out. He's got some pretty good videos up there. So thank you for joining me tonight, KP. God bless you. Salt Mist, thank you for being here tonight. Always look forward to seeing you guys here on the live chat. And of course, we have everybody, Jen over here, Belinda Long, Jose Rivera joined in. Everyone is joining in over here on TikTok. So I'm gonna be honest with you. We're gonna have to go through this together. Hopefully this will work, because I didn't have a chance today. Because what we always do is we look at the numbers for the channel, because I always say these numbers are not my numbers, they're your numbers, because this is your channel. I'm just the guy behind the screen here, and we talk about preparedness physically and spiritually. And so I always love to share what you guys are doing, because these numbers are not mine, they are yours. And I love to share these numbers with you. So hopefully, I didn't get to write them down earlier because I made dinner tonight, so I had to compensate a little bit. So I didn't get to write this down. So hopefully our computer will work right today. Let's see. Let's see if it'll help me out here. So that way I can give you the right numbers. All right. Those three are coming up. All right, let's see what we got. So for Instagram, I'm probably going to go out of order here. Instagram, I have 413 followers. And as of last week, we are up. Awesome. We are up a few actually from last week. So, all right, that's great news. Instagram, the gram is going up. Let's see. Facebook tells us. Facebook is always slow. Facebook says that on the God's Prepared Warrior page, right? It says that we are at 155 followers, which we stayed the same. But I can tell you that the God's Prepared Warrior community group on Facebook has gone up. So that number is increasing on the group. So if you're on Facebook, look me up on Facebook at God's Prepared Warrior, like the page, and then go over and search God's Prepared Warrior community and follow all the things in there, answer the questions, and I will add you to the community. And there, we're going to start working on a lot of new things there. So join God's Prepared Warrior community on Facebook, and also go like God's Prepared Warrior page. All right. So that's that one. X is pulling up. YouTube is slow. I think my connection's slow. Let's see here. I'm excited because I love sharing these numbers with you, because I want to be, I want you to know that this is you guys. So right now we're at 648 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, and it looks like we went up. We went up on YouTube. So praise God. Thank the Lord for that. I'm excited about that. And let's see. Let's check TikTok. Right? Because TikTok is a huge number. I have a huge following over here. X. Over on X, we have been stuck in the 900s, and we're still stuck at the 900s, but we're getting a little closer to the 1,000. We're at 976 followers on X. So I am on X. You can follow me on X as Rev Charles 2. That is me on X. Follow me there. You'll see my logo. You'll see my picture there. That's on X. So that channel is growing slowly but surely. TikTok. Let's see if TikTok's going to work for me today. Yes. So over. Stop clicking, Fernando. Over on TikTok, drum roll, right? We are at 3,283. We are up 10 new subscribers on TikTok. So TikTok keeps blowing up. Thank you, all of you TikTokers that are out there, all of you that are on TikTok, for helping the channel grow, all of you on YouTube, on Facebook, all of you guys. This is all you. It's not me. So thank you for reaching out. Thank you guys for the gifts over here. And somebody is watching, or is actually logging into my my website, checking out the devotional today that I posted. So if you have not gone to the website, if you're on TikTok, you can go to my main page, and you'll see the link there. Click on that. Every Monday and every Tuesday. Well, on Monday I post out the God's Prepared Warrior devotional, right? It's the Warrior devotional. And then on Tuesday I write God's Prepared Warrior blog. And so on my website you'll see that I write a devotional and a blog. So every Monday and Tuesday. Now, all of you who have gone to my website, gone to the contact page, and have subscribed for those two things to be sent to your inbox. If you go to the contact page on my website, fill out the little thingy. All it is asking is your name and your email address. That's all I need. so that I can send that to you when I write it on Monday and when I write it on Tuesday. You get that in your inbox free of charge, because I love to create my devotional on Monday, because boy, don't we need some Jesus during the week. Um, so go to my website. It's there. If you guys on TikTok, it's there on my main page. For you on YouTube, just look in the description of tonight's live, and you'll see the link there. Go to the contact page, sign the little thing in there that you want to be subscribed to the devotional and to the blog post. I think in there it talks about the newsletter. Just go there, fill that out, and tomorrow, if you do it tonight, tomorrow you'll get the Warrior blog in your email tomorrow. If not, you have to wait till Thursday, Friday when I post it out on all social media. So I would rather you take advantage of it at the beginning of the week, so that you can get the devotion on Monday, because somehow or another Mondays aren't really good according to people. But yeah, so go to my website, fill out the contact page, say, hey Fernando, I want that in my inbox, and I will tomorrow when I write the devotional, you guys will get that fresh and off the press in the morning. So take advantage of that. Don't wait till the end of the week, because you'll be all beat up, in spiritual warfare. Let's start good during the week, right on Monday. So it's okay if you weren't able to get in today for the devotional. Just go to my blog or go to my website, click on the blog tab, and you'll see it there. It'll be the first thing, and all of my devotionals have the same. They have the same picture logo, and the only thing that's different is the blog. The blog picture goes with the blog, so you'll see it there. So go check that out. Somebody is already checking it out. My phone is telling me somebody's at the website reading the blog, reading the devotional for today. So get in on it tonight, so that way tomorrow you get that in your email, and you'll get the blog tomorrow. So that's that. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. I answer all of my comments. If you ask me something, I will always answer you back. You can ask Salt Miss; she will tell you that is true. Fernando does answer back, because her and I are always communicating back and forth on YouTube. Hi, Shelly. Thank you for joining us tonight on YouTube. I'm glad you're here. Thank you guys. Thank you, Bullet, for joining the live tonight on TikTok. And thank you, all of you, Bill Fuller, Felix Amaya, over on Facebook. Thank you for joining. I'm glad you're here. All right, so let's talk about the news. In the news, Donald Trump announced that he wants to put tariffs on the movie industry that's coming into America. Let's see, he wrote on his Truth social media that he is putting 100% tariffs on movie stuff coming into the United States. I saw another post today that the movie industry was like, hey, Donald Trump, can you help us? And now they're like, well, not like that. So you can't win for losing around here. It's weird. It's crazy. So yeah, so that happened. He is imposing 100% tariffs on that stuff coming into the United States of America. So he also wrote on his True Social thing that the movie industry is dying in America, and it's dying a very fast death. So Donald Trump is helping out the movie industry by imposing tariffs on incoming movie stuff. So yeah, here's the next thing in the news. Donald Trump said today that he will reopen Alcatraz for the most ruthless and violent criminals. I have mixed emotions about that, because I used to work in the prison environment, and as a chaplain, and so I also worked in prison as a guard when I was younger. And so, I really love the prison system. Really loved working in it. It was a lot of fun. It was really neat, especially when I became a chaplain and was able to lead people to God um, and reconnect them to the Lord. And so that was fun. Um, but I have mixed emotions because this place has been shut down. Um, I mean, it was closed 60 years ago. I didn't even look up when it was open, but this thing was opened a long time ago because it housed notorious prisoners like Al Capone, right? And, that was what, in the 20s, I'm guessing. I don't know. That's like really old. And so, I don't know. I've seen some of the prisons here in Texas that are really old. They were, I mean, back, you're looking back in the 70s, 60s, and even maybe in the 50s and 40s that were open, and those buildings are still open today, and they're like really old. I mean, old, 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 old. And I've got to visit a few of them in across the state of Texas since I worked for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. And so, I witnessed some of these units with my own eyes, and even if they built new on the property, it was in conjunction with the old building, and the old building still remains, and they use it for other things, sometimes storage, things like that. But yeah, I mean, he is wanting to reopen Alcatraz, and I get it. I mean, you know um I think there was somebody that escaped. I don't know if they lived or not, I can't remember. um, you know, I don't know. NK Lundy, thank you for joining us on YouTube. He or she says the Alcatraz thing is just a scare tactic. If he opens it and it scares people into lowering crime, then it would justify the financial costs. Hey, I get that. I mean, you think about what Donald Trump is doing with all of this tariff stuff, right? I mean, it is creating waves. I mean, people are like, okay, okay, we're gonna do things right, right? Because in reality, that's why he's doing it. He's wanting to, everybody's been taking advantage of the United States, and now it's time for everybody to not do that and pay their fair share, right? And so, you're probably right there, NK. Thank you for sharing that comment. You're true. It's true. It might be a scare tactic because that place, I'm telling you, it's stinking old. But I also heard today on the news as I was coming home from work, that they asked, where is it at? I think it's somewhere close to San Diego. San Diego, I think. And they were asking that place, like, hey, what do you think about Donald Trump opening this? They had a complaint that if that happens, tourism is going to go down because that was a tourist attraction. And so they're going to lose money. You can't win or lose, right? I mean, Donald Trump wants to do stuff and he says he's going to do it, and then he does it, and then everybody freaks out because he did it. So, yeah, I mean, you can't win for losing around here, right? I mean, he's gonna do it, right? He said he's gonna do it. His track record has been pretty clean up to now. There's a few things that I kind of have a different opinion on with him. Donald Trump is not the savior. Donald Trump is not like the best choice for being the president, but he was the better choice for being the president, right? You got, it's one or the other, right? And so he said he's going to do all of these things, right? And now he's doing them, and people are freaking out. Why are you freaking out? I don't understand. Um, it, it's working, right? So, pray for the man. I'm going to tell you, pray for the man, because that's what I do. I pray for Donald Trump, that Donald Trump does things right and doesn't go left on us. So yeah, so he wants to open Alcatraz. I mean, and I get it. It's like in the middle of the ocean. If you want to escape from that place, you're going to become fish bait. So shark bait. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna you know, if you're not gonna have a girlfriend in prison, you're gonna have a fish friend when you try to escape from that place. So yeah. So Donald Trump wants to open up Alcatraz, right? Which is called The Rock. You know, if you guys have seen the movie The Rock, that is like the best movie. I love that movie. I will watch that movie a million times and I'll never get tired of watching that movie. So yeah. So anyway, so yeah, so this prison's been closed for at least 60 years already. So I mean, it's going to have a major upgrade. And, if you think about it in today's time, right? Because I'm a business owner and, we're wanting to move from one part of the business into brick and mortar. And we're looking at that and we're like, man, if you're going to build a building, you got to have all these specs to the city and all this kind of stuff. And so if they're going to do that to Alcatraz, can you imagine how much it's going to cost to get that thing updated to code? You know what I mean? I mean, unless they just kind of like walk around there and like, yeah, okay, check, 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 right? And they don't even look at it. I don't know. So yeah, that's crazy. Um, Here's the next thing. President Trump offers to pay immigrants uh, to deport themselves. I get it, you know, I get it. But here's the thing. People are mad because he's deporting immigrants. Oh, you can't do that. And oh, you're separating families. He ain't separating no families. Get that out of your head. What the left is saying that he's separating families. He's not separating families. Well, he's separating families that have children that were born here. The parents weren't. So what does the law say? If you're here illegally, you have to go, right? Um, the people are taking their children because that's their children. Come on, think about it. Donald Trump ain't separating nobody, and so yeah. So President Trump offers to pay immigrants who deport themselves. He's giving them a stipend of $1,000 and and a free flight. As he said in his interview, it is a very nice flight. So, yeah, so they're getting that plus a flight home. Uh, According to the news that I saw earlier, at least one Honduran national has taken this offer, and he will be going back home, deporting himself, collecting $100 and free flight. So that is what he's doing. This offer is to help the President help with President Trump's promise to deport people. So the way I see it is, people are in an uproar because he's deporting people, and then now they're in an uproar because he's now giving them $1,000 to deport themselves. And so you can't win or lose with people. It's crazy. If the person says, I want to take this deal, then I'm going to take this, they're going to take this deal, right? I mean, that's just what it is. So yeah, people are talking their mess and, about this. And so, it's funny how, Donald Trump delivers on his promise, and people freak out, and then he does this because, well, it's your decision, right? And he's wrong for doing that too. So you can't win or lose around here, right? NK says The Rock was a good movie. Yeah, it was. It sure was. I prefer to keep Alcatraz as a tourist attraction. I would too, because I would like to go to Alcatraz. I've never been. I've only been, let's see, I've been to Louisiana, I've been to Alabama, and I've been to Mississippi. But that's it. That's it. I haven't gone anywhere else. And that was all in one weekend. So yeah, I would like to go visit California. I would like to go and visit The Rock. I think that would be so cool. So yeah, thank you, NK, for that comment. So yeah, thank you guys for joining. Hey Minerva, thank you for joining me on TikTok. I see you there. Corey Lee, I see you in there. I see you blowing up the comments and the likes. Thanks, I appreciate that. So yeah, so you know, it's pretty crazy, right? Um, he wants to open up Alcatraz, and now he is sending people home, giving them $1,000 and a free plane ticket, and people are still in uproar. You can't win for losing around here. You can't win for losing. You know, it's crazy. Los Angeles is Los Angeles News is reporting that 3 unalived and 9 missing after a panga boat. I guess I'm saying that. I might be saying that wrong. A panga boat flipped, it capsized off of Del Mar near San Diego. This boat had, let's see, 12 people on it. 3 of them are unalived and 9 are missing. You know, that's pretty sad. We should keep these people in prayer and their families. That's pretty sad. I'm pretty sure they were trying to escape from somewhere and they didn't make it. So Los Angeles is reporting that, and it sounds like their boat capsized off Del Mar near San Diego. So yeah, that is your news for this week. So a lot of things happening, and there's a lot of things that are coming to fruition. There's a lot of things that that need our prayer. There's a lot of things that God is revealing through people, and I just really want all of you guys to stay vigilant to those things that are happening. Um, because I don't want you to ever be caught off guard. I don't want you to ever, how come Fernando didn't tell us about this? He says he's God's prepared warrior. And so, I want to make sure that I'm vigilant and that I'm prepared so that I can be an example for you guys on how to be prepared in crazy times. And so we are living in those crazy times, and the Bible is telling us that, the Bible gives us a description of what's going to happen. And as I read it, I am seeing all of this unfold that Jesus told his disciples. Thank you guys for praying for me. I've gotten over my allergy stuff, and still recovering from that. I don't know. I keep getting sick from that allergy stuff. I've never been like that before, but here we are. It's a new era, right? Awesome. So let's get into tonight's topic. I'm excited for tonight's topic because I think it's something that we kind of need to pay attention to. Um, you know, I want to talk about supply shortages. What does that look like for us? How do we navigate that? What is the impact that these tariffs that have come out? What is going to be the repercussion of that stuff? And I want to talk about that because we're already seeing numbers change, right? So I want to kind of share that with you tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking about preparing for supply shortages. So guys, thank you for joining the channel tonight and joining us on this topic. You know, so we know that Donald Trump has and continues to impose tariffs on foreign countries, and he's doing that because, as I said earlier, all of these places have taken advantage of the United States, and now Donald Trump is creating a fair playing ground with all of these tariffs, right? So, he's put these tariffs on Chinese goods, right? Because they're like one of the number one people that take advantage of the United States. And you know, their tariffs are like at 145%, right? So, you know, because they import a lot of stuff to us, right? It's important to know this, because if you didn't know this, you know, I want you to know. So, you know, there are a lot of things that we have, right? Um, you know, that bear the sticker that says made in China, right? And so, you know, China creates a lot of things for the world, right? And so they are the one where we go to get our car parts from. I want I want you to pay attention. I'm only going to give you a few things here. We get our car parts from China, you know? We get our medications from China. You know, the Chinese people are the ones that make and create all of these things for us, right? And of course, all of our electronics come from China. That's why all of those things bear the made in China label. Now, for, now there are other places that make other things, right? Um, and we get them from there too. But the majority of things come from China, and I've said this probably in a video this week or in the live last week, that you know, um, our infrastructure, some of our infrastructure is made in China. Like all of the transformers and the things like that for our electricity grid, you got it made in China. And you know, these tariffs are going to really take away from all of us here in the United States. Um, we get all that stuff, from China, and these are essential items that we need. Sure, we get all that other stuff, Timu stuff. What's the other one? I forgot the other one. Wish, right? All that cheap Chinese stuff we get there. It's not like really good quality, but I mean it's still usable, right? For a few times. Um, we get all of that stuff from China. I did a video about I was food saving some rice and beans, and I did a video. That machine that I bought, I actually bought that on TikTok Shop, and I think I bought it for like $1, right? Maybe $1 and change, and way back, and now you're gonna pay a little bit more, but I bought it for $1 and change, and that thing works so good. It's made in China. It has Chinese instructions, everything, and it works really well, right? Not all things are bad that come from China, and so we rely heavily on things that are made in China, right? If you have an iPhone, I have an iPhone. That iPhone is made in China. And so, these 145% tariffs we're going to begin to see a shortage of things coming from China. There are other channels you can watch, and they have viewers that will chime in, and they will let the person that's running that channel know. I'm seeing a shortage here in Walmart. I'm seeing a shortage here in my grocery store, and we're actually going to begin to see those shortages coming soon. So, we have a lot of things that come from China, and so if you are not prepping, I would encourage you to prep now. Not out of fear, because we don't prep out of fear, but out of wisdom. We prep out of wisdom, right? So let's understand the current situation, right? Um, there's been a significant drop. I follow there's a dashboard, a shipping dashboard. If you Google it, Google shipping dashboard, and you'll find it. It gives you all the numbers and all the ships and their names and everything that's coming to the ports, and it will give you, the numbers. Is there a decline? Is there an increase? What are we looking at? And so currently, there is a significant drop in cargo ships from China, with ports like Los Angeles. They're experiencing already 35% decline in cargo containers that are coming to the United States, right? And so um, this kind of mirrors early COVID disruptions, and is leading to higher consumer prices, and it's going to lead to potential job losses, right? And it's also going to lead, just like we saw in 2020, people rushing to the stores for things. And so we have to understand this situation. This is where we are. This is what's happening. This is what's coming, right? What does that look like? What does that, that impact look like on essential goods, right? Um, you know, we're gonna see shortages in various sectors, right? The auto industry is facing a $1.5 billion hit on companies like Ford. All of that's made here, but the parts are made in China. Ford is reporting significant profit declines because of the tariffs that are in place. We're going to see that in the auto industry. Medical supplies, right? Including your medications, right? All your medications that you get. We are seeing, and even your devices, right? Like your breathing machines, things like that, right? They're becoming scarce, right? Due to disrupted supply chains. We're going to see a decline in that stuff. But Fernando, I see it in the store right now. That's right. You see it in the store right now. Because eventually all of the stuff that has already been pre-bought will already be here, and then the ships will stop, right? I'm telling you this not to bring fear to you, but to bring this to the forefront of your understanding that we, as God's prepared warriors, need to kick into a mode of being ready. We hear a lot about being ready in the Bible, right? Jesus shares the story of the bridesmaids, right? And they were to keep their oil. They were to keep oil for their lamps because the bridegroom was coming in the middle of the night, and they didn't know. They weren't given a time, and so they needed to have their lamps lit, right? There was a few of them that didn't get to go to meet the bridegroom because they didn't prepare. The Bible is chock full of stories of preparedness. We, as a Western culture today, have moved so far away from preparing. I can think back to my grandparents and beyond that, right? Where, we were a society where there was a garden in almost every home. I remember my grandfather's garden. I remember my grandmother's closet where she had all of her canned items. I remember all of that. But today, that is almost gone. It's almost not even a thought anymore, right? And so, the supply chain is greatly going to be affected And if we are not ready, we will not be able to resupply. So, you know, the tariffs are going to cause shortages in all of these sectors, in the auto industry, in medical supplies, in food, in the food chain, things like that, right? So how can we prepare, right? I was talking to a friend today. Well, I was responding to a friend today, uh, and she said I need to start an inventory. She's gonna say that was me, and this is how I want to show you how you can prepare for the future. Number one, you have to inventory your stuff, right? I would encourage you to create an inventory sheet of all of your stuff, right? Your stuff in your pantry, hopefully stuff in your store, not in your grocery store, but in the store in your house, right? We have a pantry where all of our food is, right? And that food in that pantry comes to this kitchen behind me. And we cook it, we make it, and then it comes to this table where I'm at and we eat it, right? So I'm encouraging all of you, because we all have that, we all have a pantry in our home, to create a store in your home, right? Right now, my store is in another room here. And in that store, you need to have items that are like an overflow, right? So whenever you run out of things in your pantry, you can go to your store, take from your store, and put it in your pantry so that when you go to the store, right, you're buying from the store for your store. Does that make sense? One is none and two is one. That's what all of us preppers say, right? One is none and two is one. So preparedness is that is being prepared, right? So I want to encourage you guys to take an inventory of your stuff. What does that look like, right? Um, you should, take your current supplies, look at them. What is essential? What is non-essential, right? And then go from there. Make sure you stock on your essential items: food, water, right? Those two are the most important. People will say, well, you got to have 72 hours worth of stuff. You got to have, a month worth of stuff. You got to have a year's worth. You know what? Just have stuff, right? Because, if the supply chain runs out and we can't get no more, at least you have something, right? The way I want to prep is that, I have actually my own grocery store, right? That's just my idea. But, you know, we need to take inventory of what we have, right? You need to look at those. What are the essential things? What are those essential things that I need to stock, right? Um, you know, s- Stock up on non-perishable goods, right? Beans, rice, canned goods. Canned goods are great because they last a long time. The date that is on there is a freshness date. Trust me, you can look at my videos on YouTube and look at the 2-year-old tuna pouch that I took to work, made a tuna sandwich with, and ate it, and it was just fine. 2 years, 2-year-old. And somebody commented on that video, and they said, "Wow, you beat me about a year and a half. I think it was. I can't remember the exact number, but it was something like that. You beat me by this many months, right?" And so, I I'll try something once. Was I afraid? Yeah, I was afraid. But no, it tasted just like tuna. Just as if I bought it from the grocery store that day. 2 years past the freshness date was great. So you need to stock up on those essential items, food, water, right? I would even look at, dehydrated stuff, you know, and buy stuff that you're gonna eat, right? Don't if you're not a green bean fan or a pea fan, I don't like peas. I was force fed peas as a kid, and yeah, I don't like peas. And so, I'm not gonna go buy 20 cans of peas because if poop hits the fan, yeah, I'm not gonna eat that, right? And so if you're gonna prep things that you're gonna eat, don't buy stuff just to buy stuff, right? Create an inventory of what you got. Stick to that inventory. Grow that inventory, right? My wife goes to the grocery store, she gets all of our essentials, and then she'll buy a few extra things that goes in the later pile, right? So create that inventory, right? Stock up on those non-perishable goods, and also stock up on medications, right? You know, Dollar Tree has gone up in their price. They're no longer Dollar Tree. I think what they're $1.50 tree now. I don't know. Um, but go to those places and you can stock up on supplies there. You can stock up on food, you can stock up on water, you can get all that stuff there, right? You can get all your dehydrated foods there also, and just other things that you can prep, right? Not just food, but other items that you can get there. Candles, they have tons of candles. The tea light candles. I mean, if the lights go out, at least you'll have light, right? Or you can be like me and create a lantern out of oil and a mop string and a mason jar. It works, right? And some cooking oil. You know, you can get all that stuff there at the Dollar Tree too. So just saying. So stock up on that stuff. You can get medications there pretty cheap. Also, I would definitely, and gauze, band-aids, all that good stuff. The bigger things like stop the bleed, all that stuff, you're gonna have to get online, or you're gonna have to go to places where they sell that kind of stuff. So stock up. Keep an inventory of all your medical supplies. Keep an inventory of your food, your water, so that way you know how much you have, and then you can do the numbers to tell you how many months, right, you have, how many weeks maybe, or even how many years of food that you have. So think about creating an inventory assessment for all of that. Here's the next thing. Um, you should have um, alternative sourcing, right? We have our grocery stores, yes, but we also have other places that we can get food from, right? Local businesses, there's local farms that also sell, food at the farmers market. Take advantage of those things, right? Get to know those folks because maybe in a pinch, we're going to need to really know those folks, right? Not to steal from them, but maybe barter items from them, right? Maybe we got something that they want, and vice versa, right? So look at alternative sourcing, right? Look at local small businesses. Look at those mom and pop shops. Seek these alternative suppliers, and hopefully they won't be affected by the tariffs. Maybe they will. You just never know. Maybe because they grow their own stuff. You know what I mean? So look for that. Um, we should have community collaboration. I truly believe in this because it's great if you want to be a lone wolf out there. It's just gonna be me and the woods. Okay, you're gonna want to talk to somebody. Eventually, you're gonna start talking to yourself. I'm just saying. Let me throw this in here real quick. Hold on. There you go. Hopefully, you guys could hear that. I mean, I think the way to go is community collaboration, right? You know, it's important to know people in times of shortage because other people are gonna have what you want, right? For example, we were driving this weekend and we came across um not a garage sale, it was a estate sale, and my wife and I love garage sales, and we love to do that. My wife loves to buy tools, and so anyway, so we stopped at this estate sale, and we found we found some tools. And so, I was thinking about this earlier today. That was in the community, right? They had something that we needed and didn't have, and we were able to purchase that and bring it home. When when stuff happens, right? We're probably going to be in that kind of a mode, right? And so, you know, community is going to be needed in those times, because we're not going to have something and somebody else is going to have it, and if you can barter and trade for it, you have those community lines open already. It's going to be benefit to you, right? um so, it's important, right? Maybe that's you gathering together with your family, and you're getting that stuff ready, um for, for you guys. Y'all are prepping as a family, right? That maybe that's what you're doing. That's great, right? And so I would encourage you guys to do that. Maybe you join a local group, right? I'm trying to create that in my area. It's like the most difficult thing. It's like almost like taboo. It's weird. Maybe because of the city that I live in, that's really liberal. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm trying to create that here where I'm at, not just here, but also where you guys are at. So if you want to be part of that community, let me know. Send me an email at godspreparedwarrior@gmail.com, and let's talk about what that looks like. So community is going to be important for all of you guys to be, right. Here's the next thing. Spiritually speaking, um, you know, physical preparation is important, right? But spiritual readiness is paramount. It is of the utmost, right? I'm always encouraging you guys to pray, to read scripture, to be in God's word, and to trust God for everything, right? I trust God for everything, and he provides for me. And so I would like to encourage you guys of that also, because we need God even in good times. Like right now, everybody's like, "Oh, I'm good, I don't need prepping." I get it. You probably don't, because things are good. I get that. But, all honesty, when stuff happens, you know, we're going to need God, right? We might see things we never saw before. We might need to do things we never thought we would do before. And man, we're going to need God so much. And so I just want to encourage you guys that, yeah, do all the preparedness stuff. Do all of that. Keep up with that. But don't lack on your spiritual preparedness. Shelly says, I'm low on certain batteries. Go stock them up, because guess what? They come from China. My wife and I were at Costco this weekend, and I have become, I wouldn't say a recluse, because I still go out places, but I am trying to avoid busy places. And man, this place was busy this weekend. I think as we get closer, as the economy continues to crash, as we look at all of these, shortages that could be possibly coming up, I really see that this is going to be an ongoing thing until that day. So I would encourage you guys to start um, stocking up, not out of fear, but out of wisdom and trusting God, right? God has given you hands and feet, and he has given you the ability to work and do things. Now I get it. Somebody will say, "Well, Fernando, not everybody can do that." That's right, but also God provides for them, also, right? So it's important for us to take care of our families. It's important for us to prepare. It's important for us to help one another, because guess what? As you are obedient to God and being prepared for you and your family, God's going to give you a blessing of abundance in those things, right? And if there's ever someone in need of that blessing that God has given to you, it is also to help others, right? The Bible tells us that it is better to give than receive, right? And so, God is a giving God, and He is a loving God. And I would encourage you to trust the Lord in that, because God is wanting us to help one another. And I get it. Some people are gonna be like, "Yeah, but I want to be a lone wolf." Okay, I will be praying for you. But create those communities, because those are going to be really, really needed. And I would just encourage you to keep praying, keep reading scripture, keep trusting God, right? Because He's going to be with us the whole way through. All right, guys. So tariffs are out there, and we're gonna begin to see shortages because of those tariffs. And tonight, I just wanted to kind of shed a little bit of light on all of the things that we may not think about that are, made over in China, where the boats are eventually going to stop. So currently, we're at a 35% decline in I can't remember if it's cargo ships or actually cargo containers, but there is a 35% decline in what has come in, and it's already started. So just wanted to kind of share that with you, not out of fear. I'm not telling you to rush the store, but I mean, if you if you need to prepare, prepare. Do it do it in the right fashion, right? You're doing it um, not out of fear. You're doing it because those things are needed. You do need those things. Shelly says she needs to stock up on batteries. I would go stock up on batteries. I think out of all of the things that I have stocked up on are flashlights that are rechargeable. That way, I don't got to buy batteries. So, you know, you have your own budget, right? And most of my stuff was given to me through Christmas and stuff like that. So, I'll show you how to be frugal on that too. Um, just send your kids your your Amazon wish list, and they'll fill your preparedness items. And so, I thank God for my kids. And so do that, right? But get stocked up, get prepared, because tariffs are there, and hard times are probably down the way. Not to scare you, but to get you ready and prepared in that mode, so that you can be ready when all of that comes out. Okay. So, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. I'm so glad. I always look forward to Monday, because I get to share with you the things that God has, Him and I have been talking about. And I would encourage you that if you would like the uh, the Warrior devotional in your inbox, go to my website and click on the contact page, fill out the little thing. Fernando, I want that in my inbox. You get that on a Monday. It starts out your week. I share that devotional at work with my team, and man, they get a lot out of it. I'm always excited about Monday. It's not just because I'm here with you guys, but there's a lot of things that happen on a Monday at work, and I get to share that devotional with my team. And I mean, we really get to the nuts and bolts of that scripture, of that theme, that devotional for the week. And I mean, God just uses that in a mighty way, and just like today. And so guys, thank you. And ask me, or go to my website and say, Fernando, I want that in my inbox on Monday. And on Tuesday, tomorrow, you will see the Warrior blog that comes out tomorrow, and that'll be in your inbox if you want that in your inbox. Now, here's the next thing. If you're on YouTube, like this content, share it with your family and friends. Let's get the word out. Let's begin to build God's prepared warrior communities where you live, right? And if you say, Fernando, me and my kids, we want to join your community. How can we do that here where we live? Because we don't all live in the same place, but I want to be able to show you. Send me an email, godspreparedwarrior@gmail.com. Say, Fernando, I want to talk about building God's Prepared Warrior community where I live. And that goes for all of you guys over here on TikTok as well. You can look at my, when you click up here at the top on my name up here, you'll see the two. I have an Instagram link and then my website link. So go to those two links. And I think I have YouTube there too. But go like all of my social media so that way you're informed of what is coming down the pipe. All right. Thank you guys for joining my live tonight. I am excited that you were here. Look forward to seeing all of you in during this week on my videos. Make sure you check them out, like them, subscribe, and comment on them because I will comment to you back. So do that. Let's create this community together. Guys, stay vigilant, stay prepared. Look forward to